we've observed how you can use functions multiple times by calling its name, and how it can also return values. But let's go into a little more depth. Let's try to make a function that gives us the sum of two variables, okay? So it's going to return those. But let's go ahead and define our variables outside of the function to see what happens. So we have x equals 5 and y is equal to 10. And then we're going to echo out sum, okay? And here, let's go ahead and call on a variable x plus variable y, right? Now, this logic looks pretty sound. We have variable x, we have variable y, they have values, and then we're saying we're returning x plus y. And if we save and refresh, nothing happened. Well, that's a little weird, isn't it? Or is it? So functions take advantage of a PHP concept called scope. What that means is any variables defined inside of the function are not related to the functions, or the variables defined outside of the function. So that means this $x right here and this $x right there, this $y right here, $y right there, completely separate. They're not the same, even though they share the same name. This helps keep functions very modular and separated from each other. So if you write some functions in the library for a friend, but your naming conventions collide, it keeps you safe. So if you want to pass information into your function, you have to do it slightly differently through parameter passing. That's what these parentheses are for. So in defining your own function, you have the option to essentially create some variables inside of these parentheses. We're going to call one A, and we're going to call one other one B. You can separate them by comma, and you can have relatively as many as you wanted. But you don't give them a value because they don't get their value from inside the function or inside the parentheses. They get their value from inside the script. So let's just go and write our logic again, okay? We want to echo out A plus B. And we want X and Y. Remember? That's what we wanted. Well, you see right now there's no values for those. That's because we have to pass in values into our function call. So observe. These parameters here work as a template for our parentheses and the call, meaning that for every parameter we have here, we can pass in an argument, which is just a value for these variables to hold while the function's running. So if we were to put x here, A now has the value of x for this specific call, and y here, B now has the value of y for this specific call. If we save and refresh, we'll get 15. Let's look at that one more time. We created parameters. That's the name of these variables inside of the function definition. And we're going A plus B. But they don't have values. It's because we defined the values in the call, which, as you guessed it, means you can change what parameters are being called here. So let's go ahead and say this argument is 7. And let's say that this argument is 16. If we're to save and refresh, we get 23, which means our function is kind of dynamic now. It can have different values from the script passed into it, making it even more versatile and powerful for the developers like us.